Her body like the Wild Wild West. What if you done wild out, yeah? Riding in the big God bless. She's all inferno.
Hello and welcome into another edition of the Funday podcast. We are continuing our preseason series and we are joined here 7 days from the draft with the runner-up in 2024 season, Mr. Hardley. Austin, how's it going tonight, man?
It's going fantastic, Henry. Appreciate you running these podcasts.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I hope folks are having fun watching them. It's always great to hear some of those things we come to expect to hear leading up to the season, the bold predictions, accountability checks, draft the league. It's always a blast.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's jump right in. How is life outside of fantasy baseball?
Man, life is it's top tier right now, to be honest with you. Um, like Chuck, I also got engaged over the off season.
Hell yeah.
So we've already got the venue scheduled for May of next year. So yeah, 2026. Um, just got a new car on Wednesday, so it's another big big achievement for me that I've been wanting. So um and the reason I got that car is we'll go ahead and announce it on here, even though Dawson thought it would be kind of lame. I kind of liked it, but just found out a couple weeks ago we are expecting another one to the family.
What?
Yeah, so still early, so we haven't announced it too much, but wanted to tell the fantasy guys.
This is
So
groundbreaking. We've never had a
groundbreaking, groundbreaking news.
pregnancy announcement on the Sunday Funday podcast. And congratulations, man.
Hey,
That is
thank you, man.
amazing. Love
Yeah, I
to hear that.
appreciate it. Yep. So, should be end of October would be the due date. So,
So do y'all know like girl or boy at this point?
don't know yet. We should know next week. That's kind of the
Ooh,
plan. Yeah.
ooh.
So,
Are you gonna like find out or are you gonna do like not know and gender reveal all that stuff?
I think we're just gonna do it privately, just the two of us.
Yeah,
So,
that's what we did.
yeah.
Cool.
So
That's about
exciting,
the best run we've ever had through life outside of fantasy
right?
baseball. I love
Life's
that.
good right now. Yeah. So that's why I got a car. I want to get an SUV, have a little family car. So, yeah, we're feeling good right now.
Shoot, I'd love to hear it, man. That's great
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
We're
Appreciate
gonna
it.
another member of Wild West Junior League on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shifting gears a little bit from all that happy news. Now I want to get into something a little turmoil in the league as of late. What do
Okay.
you make of the ongoing Sneetch and have not slash Viltrumite feud?
Well, I mean, I'm here for it. Um, we need some turmoil in the league, and I think everyone not being a sneetch is kind of tired of hearing about the sneetches. It's a sneetches league. I will say though, I kind of I played more towards the other side, but it is hard to overrule it not being a sneetches league when sneetches win every year pretty much. So, but um, I think that's changing this year. So, and I'll wait on something later on in this podcast about that. But
Okay, little teaser of something to come.
little teaser. Yep.
I think that's a level-headed response. The evidence, the names on the trophy do seem to suggest it is a Sneetches league, but things can change, and the parity in this league is one of the many things that make it so great. On any given week, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, and I think with the additions to the new members of the league with Colton and Jason, I can't really consider myself new at this point. I think it's definitely made the league more competition for sure. Because I know Jason very well outside of fantasy baseball and other fantasy leagues, and he's very competitive. So it's a great addition to have him into the league.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm definitely excited to see what Jason can do this year. See if he can follow up Colton's rookie success, and we can have back-to-back maybe rookie managers making a big splash. But
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely a lot of parity in the league. It hasn't really translated over into the playoffs. We'll see. Maybe that trend changes this year.
Yeah.
Austin, keeping kind of along those lines, if you were asked to be a sneetch, say you have a great season, you make the playoffs, another playoff run, you're asked to be a sneetch at the end of this year. What's your response?
Kind of putting me on the spot here. Um, I don't know. I don't necessarily have an answer to that. Because I do kind of feel like I'm at that like 55-45%, like could get moved up into it, but at the same time I do enjoy the group I'm in right now. So um probably can't answer it fully, but I would say as of right now I'm sticking where I'm at. Um and seeing where it goes from now. It's hard to
Yeah,
get uh get away from my guys.
I appreciate the transparency and at least
Yeah.
that you'd be willing to give it some thought. I think that says
Yeah.
something. But final question I had kind of along those lines. I figured while we're on this line of questioning, makes sense. Go ahead, jump to the sneak question of the week. So, your supposed next step was fueled by a final week sneak into the playoffs over a checked out Brock. That was followed up by what some are calling a fluke run to the championship game. Do you care to comment?
Yeah, that's just stupid. Um I beat who did I beat in the playoffs to get to the championship? I know I beat Nick in the final four, and he supposedly had the best team in the league, like he says every year. And here we are again without a championship from him. Um, who did I beat in the first round? Was it Graham or was it?
I feel like
I,
that's right. I don't think I played Graham.
I think it was Graham. I think he was the two seed, if I'm not mistaken. Whoever the two seed was. Let's see what I
Graham was
think.
pretty high. I think he was like
Yeah.
top, yeah, top
Look,
two
I
or three
beat
for
two
sure.
guys. I beat a guy who competed all year for first place until like towards the right at the end when you took off. And I beat a guy who says he has the best team in the league every year. So I don't care how I made it into the playoffs, whether it's because Brock stopped trying or whatever it was. I made it to the playoffs. I think both years Nikki went to the championship and lost. He was also the seventh seed and got in by the skin of it. So I don't care. All I care about is making it to the playoffs. And once I'm there, it's fair game. I mean, if your team shows up, your team shows up, and my guys showed up for me. So yeah, I don't want to hear anything like that. I made it to the championship, and we tied. I mean, I was one stolen base away from winning the whole thing. So, and my guys, if you want to say anything, my guys didn't show up in the championship. So it is what it is. I normally had like 15 home runs a week, and I think I finished with seven that week. So, guys just didn't perform. So, but they got me there. I'm happy about it, and we're ready to take the next step this year. So,
Yeah, I, all in all, great response there. Well handled. That yeah, you play the opponents that are in front of you, and if your guys show up for that week, then you're the team that advances. Then
yep.
great point too that the championship I think was a lot closer than many folks may realize.
Yeah,
5-5
everybody
in the
checked
end,
out.
one stolen base.
Nobody was responding when we were playing the championship because nobody cared, I guess. But yeah, it was a close matchup, and it came down to the last Sunday night game. Although it was Matt Olson first stolen base, I did everything I could for him to try to do it. But yeah, he didn't care about my tweet or my Instagram message.
Did he get on base? I know I was like sweating every at bat, but I can't remember if
I
he
don't
was
even think he
ever on
got on
first.
base.
I think it was like an 0 for 4 kind of night or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It was close for sure. Hard fought championship. It was a fun week. Always fun
You
tournament
know, it's
runs.
crazy because remember, I don't know if you remember during last year's draft, me and you were in real talks about me trading up and getting Soto from you, and you were going to trade back to the nine. Looking back at it now, I think if I do that, it might have been me winning it and you losing in the championship.
It would have had ripple effects also with like Soto. I ultimately traded to get Acuna, and then
Yeah,
I got pitchers that ended up being good assets in that deal. Obviously, I still lost the deal if Acuna blew out his ACL, and Soto was amazing. But
right.
what could have been? Good point.
Yep.
Um, kind of switching gears a little bit. I feel like you're seen as something of a draft insider in this league, a guy who knows, has an idea at least of who's going to go where. To what degree do you find the information that you receive trustworthy, and how do you balance, what's real versus what's noise?
Um, I think it's pretty trustworthy. I kind of get some info from all around and try to blend it together to come up with the picks I necessarily need for my own draft strategy. And I think last year I worried about the top 34 because I had the 34th pick, and I had 33 of the 34 correct. So I feel like I'm pretty accurate with it. This year I know the top 40. So um, yeah, I mean, I think people are okay with telling me because they don't see me as a threat. Whatever it is, I don't know. But I like to talk about. I think the before the draft is my favorite part of the whole thing. I love it, and
Anticipation.
yeah, dude, I love talking about it. I mean, the amount of calls I'll be on for hours on the phone, just literally talking about the same thing, and how many mock drafts I've done, just on my notes app of where people were going and how much it's changed over every few days. I just love every second of it. So, um, I don't know. I feel like people are trusting me and telling me their thoughts, but hey, eventually that could change. So
I mean, if you got what 33 out of 34 of them last year correct, that seems like the
yeah,
information must be
I
pretty
even
good.
got.
Oh,
I think was it you that took Seeger?
yep.
Yeah, I even had that written down. And I said that during the draft. You're like, you had me right, and I was like, yeah, I have that written down.
Because I thought, yeah, I like pulled him up a little bit. I thought I was being
Hmm.
bold, get him 5 or so picks above where I quote unquote thought he would go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you seem like you have good info there, have a good feel for what folks are going to do. But with that in mind, is there anything you see coming at the early stages of the draft that might surprise people?
I hope everyone's ready to to like stretch as much as they possibly can because it's happening for a lot. And yeah, I mean, the amount of stretching I'm hearing going out there, it's gonna. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but no, people are definitely stretching this year.
Um,
But I mean, I'm definitely down for that. So I think my picks are kind of perfect for the back end of their stretching. So
That is a get your guy kind of league. I
Chris
feel
Carlin.
like we've seen, yeah, yeah. Chris Carlin is a name that came to mind as you were describing that. And he just will randomly like text out his targets to people like completely
Oh
unprompted.
yeah,
It's just like,
yeah. He
eh,
loves texting me and saying, "These are my guys, and if you tell anybody, you have to give me your keeper." That's his best text to me.
and like that feels like something that should be unreliable information. But I'm like, I'm kind of buying it. I feel like Carlin is just like giving up information for no reason. It's like, here's
Yeah.
10 guys I like. Just run with that. Uh, I want to ask a draft the league kind of question. Pick your guys. So give me a Mount Rushmore, not including yourself, of Wild West athletes. Put differently, draft 4 guys for kind of a randomized athletic decathlon of sorts, where we don't know what the sporting
Don't know what
events
the sports
are
will
going to
be.
be, but yeah, just all around athletic guys who are going to compete.
Okay. Uh, First name comes to mind instantly would be Graham. He's he's kind of just good at everything when it comes to sports. I've played basketball with him every Friday night. I've played pickleball with him before. I don't. I've well, his golf swing's a little sketchy, but we can sacrifice that for the other things that he brings to the table. So Graham's
Sure.
definitely number one. I think for athleticism, number two's got to be Allen. Tall, athletic. Hey, did you know he could dunk?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
yeah,
You
I've
said
heard.
it a few times. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he can dunk. So I mean, And I figure he can do a couple other things. I've seen him punch a light pole, the box too, during a softball game. So he's got some strength because he made the whole system flicker. So if we're boxing, that's a good asset to have there too.
That's a strong pick for sure.
Um, according to Nikki, and I probably give it to him because I've seen him on a baseball field, he'd probably be number three. He also claims he's got the best hands on this side of the Mississippi. So I'd love to see that in action because I have seen him field a ground ball, and his eyes don't work well with his hands when it comes to that. But like hitting wise, when he played 2 years ago, he was the best hitter on our team. He's got some pop. He's playing again this year, so I'm excited to see what he can do this year. Hopefully, he can fix his vision for once because he claims he can't see. He, he claims he can't see in the dark, so it's probably not a good thing. He should probably get that checked out, but he doesn't do it for some reason.
Be like Tommy Pham, get LASIK and
Yeah,
unlock more
I'm like,
hitting
just
potential.
go to the eye doctor. Like, wear glasses or do something. And then number four, that's where it gets kind of tricky. Hmm. See, like I want to say Chuck, but I've seen his ankles, so like I have to rule him out because of that. He's got no ankle support these days. I think he's still hurt from last year's basketball. Um, it's probably between Dawson and Colton. I'm probably gonna take I'm probably gonna take Dawson as my fourth.
I feel like basketball should weigh more than the games that
Yeah,
Colton was we're giving
athletic and
Colton credit for.
basketball. He's improved his golf game a lot. I played with him a couple times last year, and he's just. I think he could be. Like, I think he'd be good at baseball if he played. But I've never seen him play either. So
Yeah,
that's probably my top four. I'm pretty happy with that.
yeah, that's fair. Colton's a skill game merchant. He's like cornhole,
Yeah.
badminton, basket weaving, that kind of shit. Um, bold predictions for the season ahead. We had a teaser earlier in the show. What you got?
Yeah. I'll do that one second. My first bold prediction, though, is look, I said earlier as well, Jason is a very good fantasy manager. Um, he wins fantasy basketball for pretty much every year, or he's always competing. So my one first bold prediction is he will be in the playoffs, and he won't just sneak into the playoffs. He'll be a top five guy. He's like I
That is
said,
bold.
he is very competitive, and he's a great fantasy guy. So um, yeah, that's a bold prediction one. And my second one, going back to saying I think a non-sneetch is going to win the playoffs. I mean, that's basically what it is. But on top of that, I would like anybody wants to wager on that on the side, saying I will wager that a non-sneetch will win over a sneetch this year.
I would take that
So
action. I'm sure
yeah.
you might have some takers on that one as well.
So
W-
I'll do up to $50 with any sneetch that wants to take that action.
Is it fair if I get first dibs for hearing it live
Yeah,
on the pod? I feel like,
I'll do it for all five
oh, okay.
sneetches.
Hell
So
yeah. Let's get in for 50.
okay, cool.
I got a sneech to win the title. You get the field or
I get
non
the
sneeches.
field.
Okay. Sweet. So 5 versus 7.
Yeah.
Cool. Locked in. $50.
Yes, sir.
Like the bold predictions, I also like this next segment of the show. This is always a fun time where we get accountable. So, Mr. Hardley, if things go poorly this year, what's that going to look like for you?
So I think I said this in last year's podcast, and I've continued to say it. I am the Mark Stoops of this league. Every year, besides COVID year, I have improved every single time. I've gone up. Last year, it was made it to the championship. The year before, it was make it to the playoffs. The year before that, just outside the playoffs, and vice all the way down. Never been last though. Never gonna do that. Couldn't imagine being last. So to make it harder, last year I did, if I didn't win a playoff game, I would pay for half of first place's entry fee. This year, since I've already made the championship, if I don't win the championship this year, I will pay for half of first place's entry fee next year.
Damn. Never have we had someone hold themselves accountable to that level.
Mm-hmm. So it's
Championship or
got
bust.
championship or bust this year.
I'm sorry, I
Yep.
cut you off there too, Hardly. Did you have any other stipulations you were putting around that?
No, there's no stipulations. It's just first place or I pay for half of first place.
Hell yeah. Putting your money where your
So,
mouth is.
yep.
I think that's a good one. Do you got any closing thoughts, any call outs, any last words before we wrap up here?
No call outs. Everybody seems like they're hating on Connor. I'm not going to hate on him in this podcast. I'll let everybody else do that. I will say I will be wearing this jersey
I was
on
gonna say
draft
you're
day.
making sure that's in frame
Hmm.
there. Are you sending any messages?
Hey, all I'm saying is I will be wearing this on draft day. Um, it is a Jose Ramirez jersey. It's not just a blank jersey on the back. So we'll see what happens next Saturday.
Can't wait to see how it all shakes out. Thank you for your time here tonight, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been another fun show. We've got a couple more for you here in the preseason series before it is time for the regular season. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting.
Her body like the Wild Wild West. What if you done wild